when I saw how people can do wallet-to-wallet transactions, that you can send your crypto assets at 11 p.m. on a Saturday night.
Yes.
That's when it became magical. That's where it became not just anymore a token that goes up and down, but it becomes something that you could do something with it.
Yes, I think we didn't teach our younger generation enough about cybersecurity. Sharing knowledge is a very powerful thing to advance the human society. So whenever that we have certain capabilities, we can open source, or we have certain capabilities that we can help other people to build faster, we do it.
For people who don't know much about TrustWallet, first, can you at least give them a preview of what it is, and then at least for people to know TrustWallet?
TrustWallet is the most simple to use, all-in-one stop shop for people's Web3 gateway. That sounds like a very marketing term, but let's unbreak a little bit. TrustWallet was created in 2017. During the ICO phase, there was no easy-to-use wallet. So our founder, Victor, essentially created TrustWallet to have, the one place that you can hold all your coin in your phone, because there is nothing else. And so that's the origin story. It's caring about giving people a good user experiences and solve the problem for everyday people who wants to do Web3. So starting from there, 2017, and then 2018, you remember, is the Ethereum scalability problem. So all the different layer one comes up and wanted to talk about the scalability performances. Then users would tell us that, hey, I wanted to hold more alternative layer one coins. So then TrustWallet then transitioned from single chain, which is Ethereum focused, to multi-chain. And then that even shapes our current position, is that we're chain agnostic. We're the top wallet that support the most number of the chains, the most inclusive. And we also adapt to new technology that's coming in the best. The goal is very simple, is that when people want to find something, they will have the highest opportunity to find it, to find TrustWallet to support it. And then when the industry expanded, it's no longer just about holding tokens, it's about using it. So there is DeFi and there's NFT. So then you can see that wallet as the gateway or bridge to help the users. No longer is just for the token itself. It's no longer a wallet, just hold it. It's about being the window and bridge to access, to help users to access to the utilities that they want to. So then we also supported the NFT, we support the different dApps. Then the users can access the decentralized application on their phone without the burden to go into a desktop extension. So as some of the things that you can see is that essentially we evolve with the industry for the user needs that they want to. And then we always make it the one-stop shop, the bridge, the easiest one without sacrificing security for the users to explore.
And I think what's nice about TrustWallet is it's very user-friendly. I tried a lot of wallets also, and it's something that's easy to dice. It's not very intimidating to people who would want to try to use it for the first time. And what's nice is different chains, and then you could easily put everything in just one wallet. For people who are not into crypto, that's what TrustWallet is. But for people who are into crypto already, what do you think would be the primary edge also of TrustWallet up against everything that's out there as well?
Yeah. So I think that multi-chain thesis still works, because if you're a DJ, you're exploring so many different things, you're trying to get airdrop everywhere, you still got the highest chances that we support almost everything that you're exploring. Yeah, so that is for DJing. I think for a lot of the newbies, they actually don't need that many chains. And the second thing is that we curate the UI UX for newbie people, but there is a whole open door through dApp browser that the advanced users can go to. And also, a few months ago, we also launched the extension product. And that extension product is also the most inclusive multi-chain extension out there already. So there are not that many extensions. Actually, as far as I know, we're the only one that simultaneously support all EVMs, all Solana, and Aptos. Because we have the infrastructure for multi-chain that we already developed, it allows the extension to be more inclusive. So we don't know which ecosystem later on can get the super utility, fast track adoption out there. We don't know, we cannot predict, but we estimate the wallet or an extension to facilitate that process.
And I guess that's what's nice about it, because when it takes some time and you have so many wallets, one for Solana, one for Polkadot, and it becomes so hard to maintain.
Right.
Just, of course, keeping all of those seed phrases, but just really maintaining all of them is a pain already. So I think
we try to make it easier for people.
I want to ask this: how safe is it really to use a hot wallet? And I'll provide context into it. If you use an exchange, if you want to take money out, there's so many OTPs that you have to go through before you could take the money out. Also, if you have a hardware wallet, you need a physical device, and it's hard for people to also access that. There's always a fear in people's head that, what if someone gains access to my phone or my laptop and they could just easily send money out? What's the level of security that, at least when people start putting in larger amounts of money in it, that they could also sleep well at night as well?
Yeah, I think one inconvenient truth that everyone needs to know is that there's nothing 100% secure. Not just talking about hot wallet, I'm talking also about cold wallet. I'm talking about your bank account.
There's one thing that's secure.
What is it?
My wife's love for me.
Ew,
just kidding.
that's really nice for you. I think I have a very high confidence for my husband as well.
So if you're watching this, that's for you.
I don't think it's realistic to find one single thing and think that I just need this one thing and I can feel secure for the rest of my life, because that doesn't exist. A good risk management is to know what is your need at different times and what serves the right purpose. For example, if someone has a large amount of assets and then they know that they have a physical environment can keep things extremely safe, they are also worried about some of the centralized platform, then I would say the hardware wallet is the right way to go, because you don't use that frequently. You already have the right environment to keep it physically safe, then go for it. That's the right trade-off for them. But if you said that, hey, I'm a frequent trader, I often use DApps, then there is a fundamental trade-off between that user experience interface. You probably don't need to trade a large amount all the time. And it's about taking the assets somewhere coming out and then be able to take the actions on it. But hardware wallet, I would say I imagine hot wallet is going to be more like people's cash wallet and then checking account, where you have a higher frequency of using it rather than be just one place and then hold cold storage under the bed. And that's the ideal scenario I personally think hardware wallet should serve. But then users' assets can go very smoothly between hardware wallet or the centralized exchanges they trust, or banking channels if they trust the banking channels. That's what we want to build, is all those connection points for people. But one problem that you mentioned is, what if people worry about that people got my laptop or got my phone, right, and they will have access to it? That's why I highly encourage people to set up the Face ID or password on the device. So even if your relatives just pick up your phone from the table, if they don't have that passcode or if they don't have that Face ID verification, they cannot get in. So that is to protect on the device level, but of course you still have to back it up. Something else we've been exploring, we'll see how that goes, is any technological change that can make it both easy and secure for people. But again, there's no 100%, there's a trade-off. Like for example, MPC technology or account abstraction that's coming, or to make it seedless. Maybe that could better protect people from, hey, my fat finger, I lose my recovery phrases. It gives better recoverability, but there's other risks also needs to balance out, such as smart contract wallet. What if the smart contract itself has problem? So again, as I mentioned, there's no 100% security out there. It's all about understanding the needs, finding what you're good at, what you're willing to trade off.
If you would subscribe to like a model on combining positions in centralized exchanges, hot wallets, and even cold wallets, how would you do it? How would Eowyn, Chen do it? This is how I would segregate my stash.
So as I mentioned, I probably will keep assets under 10,000 on the hot wallet.
Okay.
And then I have a trusted centralized exchanges, then for example Binance, then usually how I do it is that I put the assets on Binance, and then we have a deposit from exchange feature. Whenever that I'm gonna use it, I just click that one and then withdraw from my exchange account. And I also can trust Coinbase, and I can choose Coinbase from TrustWallet too. So then I do it. There are certain tokens or coins that are larger amount, then I don't touch all the time, then I have a hardware wallet. But then I need to have another safe in order to keep that hardware wallet, which becomes another challenge too.
And that's a real concern, especially for people that travel a lot. It becomes a hassle to have a hardware wallet. Because if you don't have it with you and then something happens, you can't do anything as well. So I really believe that there should be like a sweet spot where you have it scattered in different.
I think scattered is good because ultimately, again, as mentioned, it's risk management. Right, risk management is don't put all the eggs in one basket, and then even if something goes wrong, you lose one part of it, you still have another majority part being protected.
When you said that, I remember the friend. This is what he did. Seed phrase, cut it into half. The other half is one safe in another bank, then another safe for another bank. But that's super safe.
But what if one bank goes down? He loses the recoverability.
I think he has his own, but I think that's his backup just in case. The fear when you have a hardware wallet is what if it burns down or something and you don't have access to it. So I think that's part of his backup as well. I want to ask this because right now it's easy from a perspective of I have fiat. And then I just use credit card to put money to TrustWallet. Is there a scenario later on where I can fiat out also from TrustWallet?
It's already happening.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now we started with USD, GBP, and Euro. But it's just a starting point. And it also depends on the partner whether they have the local channel to offboard. So if you have any good ones, let me know. Then I can help integrating to serve the local users.
That would be great because I think it allows people already that want to actually use what they have and use it really as sound money. I think that's where adoption will become massively faster also when there's not a lot of hoops just to bring it out or to be able to spend it on something as well.
I think that's actually, if I were to talk to regulators or traditional finance people, it's not 0 to 1. Then people just want to move from fiat to crypto and they never come back. Like people assets move very fluidly. Instead of cutting off the channels to not allow people to move between fiat and crypto, it's actually serving them better to open up that channel so that people's crypto can go up to the fiat world and then to use it more.
And it becomes, I hope it comes to a point where people just scan from their Trust Wallet and they get to spend it in different shops already. That would be super
we will love that too. So if there are any good crypto payment innovation and partners that are able to do that, we're more than happy to work with them.
What made me realize that crypto is amazing is in the Philippines you have like 110 million people. You have 10% of that population overseas. They remit money every month. They remit $36 billion a year, which is one of the biggest in the world also in terms of remittances.
Really?
What's interesting about that is when I saw the ability that, hey, not a lot of Filipinos have bank accounts. It becomes so hard for them to be able to send money from one point to another, and it becomes so expensive also for them. When I saw how people can do wallet-to-wallet transactions, that you can send your crypto assets at 11 p.m. on a Saturday night. That's when it became magical. That's where it became not just anymore a token that goes up and down, but it becomes something that you could do something with it. What would appeal to you and what would you convey to the audience also?
I think what you just said will be very, very powerful. And actually is the needs for the majority of the population in the world that our traditional financial system just doesn't serve very well. So I think crypto and blockchain already solved the major part, which is the assets can move from A to B in a very cost-efficient way. And if those people are in developed countries, usually they already have a good on-ramp solutions. The challenge is the last mile offering. Like mentioned, is that right now the infrastructure for crypto to the real world, I would say if anything happens mostly in the developed countries. Like easier, better local solutions. But by the way, we also can do Binance P2P. So maybe through P2P network in a reliable manner, that also has certain risk, but people get a chance to also complete that last mile. then I think will, at least in terms of the peer-to-peer transfer remittance scenario, that would be really powerful. But back to your question earlier, you nailed exactly very important thing is that wallet's value proposition are two. The first one is just store, hold the basic blockchain transfer transaction way, and we need to do that very well. The second part is the so-called Web3, all the utilities, all the new opportunities to leverage the blockchain to do something more. I think both exist.
Okay.
It just for different people, different population, different needs, the pain point for one might be stronger for two.
Yeah.
And I think in the current world, because of the unstable scenario happen, I think in Philippines probably okay, but in many other parts of the world, the system is not stable. So it has been the TradFi environment that pushes people into crypto, decentralized, and then hold the assets themselves. We want to help the industry also expand the boundaries and build better.
Okay.
So traditionally, we only have the capacity to focus on users, but we start to focusing on serving the developers as well. So for example, we turn the extension wallet into a developer tool.
Okay.
So not only users can enjoy the multi-chain coverages, we try to help developers to build their dApps and projects for multi-chain scenario since day one too. We think that this can help the industry builders to do things faster and easier, leveraging the infrastructure that we already have. This is something new that we previously didn't do. Then we hope that we can help to speed up some of the development in the space.
And I think if there's one thing that you said in all of this also is that TrustWallet just keeps on innovating. You keep on trying different things also to the benefit of the end users also. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing what you're doing.
Yeah, it's important. This is something I inherited from our founder Victor, and his parents told him, and both of you and I are parents. That makes us think about passing down the values. But for him, the parents emphasize on sharing knowledge. Sharing knowledge is a very powerful thing to advance the human society. So whenever that we have certain capabilities, we can open source, or we have certain capabilities that we can help other people to build faster, we do it.
And I think especially for crypto, because it's so new and there's a lot of scams also. Information is what will help people decide properly, and it will save them also a lot of money, because if they start studying, they'll realize if it's actually for them or not for them, and it will remove a large amount of pain in between as well.
Yeah. That's another thing I think, as for both you and me who are parents, I think we didn't teach our younger generation enough about cybersecurity.
Okay.
You have a daughter, you probably care about she's being physically safe, right? You'll probably teach her how to keep herself safe, don't walk at night alone, etc. We teach enough about our kids for physical safety, but the online presence is going to be more and more important. But I will have to say a controversial point. Most of the people are not ready for the wilderness online.
Okay.
Are not ready. Even in social media. Why so many teenagers, at least when I was in the West, I saw them getting mental health issue, feeling bullied. That hasn't even touched assets. It was just information. And then now, if we're moving things on chain, which is both empowering for people to have that ownership, but if you don't know the right skill set to keep yourself safe, to keep your assets safe, then to what point? We so lack cybersecurity education to train the adult in the internet age. And I think that is something, we want to work with the community more, and also for, industry leaders, key opinion leaders like you are. I think this will be meaningful for our society.
Coming from someone who's been in the stock market for 16 years, when I saw how you could take out your crypto and put it in a wallet that no one can shut down anymore, if that's the only thing that crypto does, it's already worth it already. And people need to realize that when you have it in the blockchain and you access it via TrustWallet, that's an amazing selling point already as well. How should people's approach be also when they would like to buy crypto via TrustWallet or via credit card or whatever? What would be the number one, I guess, most efficient way for them to do it? And do you subscribe also to the idea of just dollar cost averaging as well for them?
My personal approach will be, if I have a first principle thinking on the value of certain assets, and then dollar averaging probably makes the most sense.
Okay.
And then I guess another thing is when just have to reverse psychology. When everyone's greedy, you have to be fearful. When everyone's fearful, you need to dare more a little bit. I guess those are just my very naive, simple, personal investment approach, but not a suggestion, not necessarily work for everyone.
Put this to a close. Any final words to people who are watching this? If they want to know more about TrustWallet, they want to. Because I personally use it, I like it also. And what would you want to convey to them, to people that are watching this?
I think we're still super early. We're a very small team, works very hard. But because we're too privacy focused, we don't have data for users. The most thing that I want and the team wants is to hear from users. Like for example, the different value proposition that we think, is that true for you? What do you want? Like what solves your pain points the most? And what are the biggest issues with wallets? Let us know so that we can build in the right way. And if something that you particularly like more, also let us know so that we can make sure that other people who might have similar needs can know it. I think that communication, even though we're in the technology industry, ultimately we're doing people's business, not people elements in communication. I hope that we can do better as a pioneer in the industry for the decentralized space for the users.
Got it. So if you want to know more about TrustWallet, I'll put it down below, and then follow Eowyn on Twitter if you have questions. Super smart and insightful, and then TrustWallet's amazing.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'll see you all.
Thanks, guys.